been an eventful couple of weeks for me in the credit card game. Not only did I get automatically approved for the Chase Ink Unlimited with the 90,000 point offer just 3 days after I dropped back under 524, but on the exact same day, I was also approved for the Bilt Mastercard, which y'all have probably seen the Watch Me Apply video for at this point. Now, to be honest, yes, I was excited to get the Chase Ink Unlimited with the 90,000 points, but I was much more excited to get approved for the Bilt Mastercard since this is a card I've been talking about for so long. Now, while I felt like this was a no-brainer for my setup, and it's obviously been like the most popular card of 2023, I'm still not 100% convinced that this card is for everybody, and more specifically for the renters that can actually utilize this card. So in part 1 of this video, I'm going to cover why I personally applied for it and why it makes sense for me. In part 2, I'll be diving into my data points after applying for this card, and then in part 3, we'll be doing a live unboxing. And by the end of it, I hope you can kind of get a better understanding of whether or not this card is for you. But I do plan on making a video diving into this card in a lot more detail and why it might not actually be that great of a card. So if you're interested in seeing that, be sure to at least check if you're subscribed to the channel, because I think at this point, only like 20 to 25% of my audience is actually subscribed, which is obviously pretty low. So of course, the first and biggest reason that I applied for this card personally is because I wanted to earn points on my rental purchases every month. As y'all know, I recently moved to a new apartment, which I'm still, getting some gear for and stuff like that to make it look nice for y'all. But with this move came the ability for me to be able to actually earn points on my rent, because before that, I lived at home for a little bit. And then before that, the way I was paying rent before didn't allow the Bilt Mastercard to really make sense for me. And even if it would have helped me, I was over 524, so it didn't make a difference. And the fact that I was over 524 is not a reason for me to get denied for this card, but considering I knew that I wanted to at least add one Chase Ink card at the beginning of this year, I wasn't going to take up another 524 slot for the Bilt Mastercard back then. As y'all probably know about this card at this point, it offers more than just 1x back on rent, including 3x on dining and 2x back on travel. And then those earning categories are doubled on the first of every month and everything like that. But the fact alone that it is the only card on the market that allows you to earn anything back on rent purchases without any of the transaction fees that a portal would normally charge you makes it just one that I feel like I need to have in my setup just so I can optimize on that category that I've never been able to cover before. So pretty self-explanatory there. The second reason that I wanted to add this card is because Bilt has some great transfer partners. Not only are their transfer partners great, but they also overlap a lot with the other lenders that I have cards from, which means that I can effectively combine all of my credit card points from basically every lender, Amex, Chase, Capital One, you name it, with my Bilt points as long as I transfer to a mutual travel partner that they have. For example, I can transfer my Chase points to Hyatt and my Bilt points to Hyatt, making both of those ecosystems technically the same currency in a way. I could also do the same thing with Amex on the side of, say, Air France. I could transfer from Amex to Air France as well as Bilt to Air France and get the same thing to occur. So it wasn't like adding this card to my setup was going to spread out my spend any more than it already is spread out. And what I mean by this is that a lot of times whenever people don't have a ton of credit cards, you would recommend normally that they put all of that spend on cards within the same ecosystem. That way you can very easily utilize the points and all of your spend is not spread across different ecosystems where you then can't really get maximum value for your redemptions or even make redemptions because you don't have enough points in each account to do so. So again, the fact that Bilt has some mutual transfer partners and some of the best transfer partners in the entire credit card game allows me to actually utilize all of the points I've earned from the spend on my rent purchases on the Bilt Mastercard with my cards from companies like Chase, Amex, Capital One, etc. And then the third reason that I applied for this card, and of course there are many more than this, but this is going to be just to gain experience with it for the channel. Bilt is probably the most up and coming card, as well as just, I guess, company in general on the entire credit card market. And as a credit card YouTuber, I want to get as much hands-on experience as I can with every card out there, and especially the ones that are extremely popular. So I was very excited to go ahead and apply for this card to start that process. It sucked to have to wait so long to add it to my setup, but now that I have it, I can already see some of the places where it's really powerful, as well as some of the places where it's lacking, and that's what I want to cover in a future video. But that video is only going to be better with my personal experience, hence why I've waited to make it until I actually have the card and get to use it for a little bit. And of course, also the more content that I make, the better for y'all. So the more cards I have to make content about, the better for everybody. So speaking of getting experience with different cards and products, one company whose products I've been using since the start of my credit card journey and plan to continue to use through the rest of my credit card journey is Max Rewards. For those of y'all that don't know, Max Rewards is an all-in-one credit card management app that allows you to pull information about all of your credit cards from basically any lender into one interface. This might not be something that you've experienced yet, but once you start to get multiple cards from different lenders, it gets pretty annoying to have to constantly keep track of all of those logins and log into those different apps to see everything that you need to know about your cards. Max Rewards gets rid of that and puts it all in one app for you. This has helped me to get a very quick glance at the total amount of rewards I have on each of my cards, the total card balances that I need to pay off on my cards, as well as the bill due dates for each of my cards. That tells me exactly when I need to pay each of those off. Max Rewards has plenty of free features that I've talked about a lot on this channel, specifically their welcome bonus trackers, their best card tool that tells you what card to use depending on where you're shopping and stuff like that. But they also have a paid tier called Max Rewards Gold, which they've been adding features to lately. So for one, Max Rewards Gold is going to automatically activate your rotating quarterly categories for you on your cards like your Chase Freedom Flex, as well as automatically activate your credit card offers for you, which is obviously great. But the one particular feature that I want to hone in on in this video, which was added recently, is the Rewards Earned tab. This is basically going to allow you to compare your spending versus your earning on a weekly, monthly, and yearly basis. You can also tap into specific transactions and track by card if you want to do that. And I think it's going to be something that can maybe open your eyes as to how much value you're actually getting from your cards. So I think it's a great feature. If you want to even just try out the free features of Max Rewards, please be sure to download it through the link in my description. And when you sign up, if you use the promo code Spencer, that'll give you a 1-month discount on your Max Rewards Gold subscription if you do decide to upgrade. Now let's go ahead and dive into my data points after applying. Now, of course, as I mentioned in my unboxing of the Chase Ink Unlimited, just remember that I applied for 2 credit cards on the same day. So these numbers are going to be slightly impacted because of that. Basically, it's not going to be the sole blame of the Bilt Mastercard for these drops in my credit score, but I'm going to talk more about that as we get into it. Also, quick note, I got my TransUnion and Equifax information from Credit Karma. So while it's not the absolute most accurate possible, it does give us a good idea of what happened. And then Experian, I actually just grabbed from Experian's website. So with TransUnion, to start, my credit score is a 754 with them after the application, which was a drop of 9 points. However, my hard inquiries stayed the exact same as before I applied for this card at 4. So what this means is that the hard inquiries are not what caused the drop in my credit score, which leads me to believe that the addition of this Bilt Mastercard being a personal credit card compared to the Chase Ink Unlimited being a business credit card lowered my average age of account because it's reported on my personal credit report, which the Chase Ink Unlimited does not. And that is why you're probably seeing this drop of 9 points that you are. The same story applies to Equifax here, but my credit score with them is a 760, which again was a drop of 9 points. And in a similar fashion to my TransUnion report, my hard inquiry stayed the same at just 1. Now with Experian, on the other hand, my credit score dropped by 10 points to 744, and my hard inquiries on my Experian report jumped up to 4 instead of what they were before at 2. So that means that we know that Chase and Wells Fargo both pulled from Experian in order to get me approved for their cards. And that's why we're going to see a bigger impact on this report compared to the other 2. Do remember that hard inquiries are going to fall off of your credit report after 2 years, and they stop impacting your credit score a lot sooner than that. And honestly, as long as you're using your cards responsibly and not, maxing out these new cards that you got for some reason, your credit score should not only recover, but actually be better off in a couple of months than they were before. A lot of people seem to think that the more cards you apply for, the worse your credit score. And the only reason that that is true in a temporary fashion is because of these hard inquiries that you get. But like I said, they are just a small temporary decrease to your score. And theoretically, the more accounts you have, the better for your credit score because of the credit mix factor of your credit score. So for that reason, as well as many others, having more cards is actually a good thing for you in the long term. Of course, as long as you can manage them responsibly. Now, I do hope that all of that was helpful, but of course, it's time to get into the actual unboxing of this card, which seems to be one, if not the best experiences on the entire credit card market these days. Okay, so here we are. I got the 2 envelopes or packages that I got from Bilt, or I guess also from Wells Fargo technically. So let's go ahead and start with the envelope, since obviously this is where the Bilt Mastercard actually comes in. And starting here, this is just a very boring envelope, but I do still think that it is at least relevant to talk about in this video since it's the full unboxing process of this card. Obviously, I had to tape up all my personal stuff here, but this is the page that came from Wells Fargo telling me, thank you for applying for the card and that it'll arrive in up to 7 business days. But the cool stuff here is that they are very open about what they pulled in order to access my information, that being, of course, Experian, as you can see right here. And then the other paper in this envelope tells me more about the actual credit score that I have and how it stacks up to others as well. So let's go ahead and look at that. So here at the top of the page, you can see that my credit score was a 770, which they pulled from Experian. And that is much higher than what I saw, whenever I did the data points before applying for this card in the Watch Me Apply video. So I guess good to know that they actually see a higher score than I do. That's never a bad thing. They also tell me how to, understand my credit score, what I should know about them, how they will use my credit score and the ranges of scores. And they give you a graph about how your score compares to the score of other numbers. I don't know why they printed it so bad. Like the actual printing is blurry, but pretty interesting if you want to look at this closer, if you care enough about my credit score. And then obviously if you were to apply, it would look different depending on what your score was, but just kind of cool that, Wells Fargo does send this to let you know. I don't think I've ever received anything like that from another company before. So just one of those small things that I thought was cool, it being my first Wells Fargo application and all. Now we can get into the actual fun part of the unboxing though, which is where the Bilt Mastercard is. As you can see here, I had a little bit of mud on this because they delivered it while it was raining here in Texas. And that's just how it goes. But the white outer packaging here just has the actual Bilt logo on it. And that's really about it. The other side just has the UPS tracking information, which I'm not going to show y'all. And then on the inside, we have the Bilt card itself in this actual box packaging. This is probably the first unboxing I can actually say is an unboxing and not an unenveloping, so that's pretty cool. The backside just has this Mastercard logo on it at the bottom, and then of course the Bilt logo on the front, with this pull tab here that allows you to pull out the card as well as some other information about it, which is one of the things you've probably already seen with this card, but I've never got to experience it for myself, and I always want to share every one of my unboxing experiences with y'all. So here we go. Let's go ahead and pull out my card here in 3, 2, 1. There it is. So of course we have the card here on the left side of this, and you can see it is a very sleek design, probably my favorite design credit card on the entire market right now. And then on the right, we have this pull tab that has some additional information inside. I'm just going to disregard it and pull from here because I can't get it. Underneath this little package is going to be a quick start guide, which is obviously helpful in getting your card set up. And if we were to open this packaging here, let's see what's inside. We're going to have this pamphlet about the Bilt Resident Rewards Loyalty Program. Looks like we got a nice little note here from the founder of Bilt, which is obviously pretty cool. And just a bunch of information about what Bilt actually offers you. So if you did want to stop and read, you could do this. And I've seen other people do it. And it's actually fairly interesting, especially when you have notes here from people like Brian Kelly, who started the Points Guy and all that. But it explains exactly how to actually use the card, how to use your rewards, gives you more information about the card itself. And all in all, it's just a pretty neat pamphlet here. And it basically just reminds me of like the whole card benefits guide that you get in every other envelope, but just in a cooler form factor. And it's something new, which is always refreshing to see. As for the card itself, let's go ahead and pull this one out. And you also have a activate your card QR code here that you can use to activate your card with Wells Fargo. Let's go ahead and set this to the side and take a closer look at this card though. So here is the Bilt Mastercard. I know it's against this black background, but I hope that you can still make everything out pretty well. Like I said before, definitely my favorite card design right now. You have all this nice engraving on it, which is also silver, just like the outer edges of this card are silver, but the rest of the card is black. So we have the Bilt logo here, the chip, of course, your name, the Mastercard logo, which they also did in silver, great touch, and the Bilt logo right here in a light blue. And then on the back, you have the mag strip in that same blue color as a logo, which is a nice little touch. The Wells Fargo logo up in the corner. You have your card numbers right here under this tape, as well as the expiration date and your CVV, of course. You have the World Elite Mastercard logo again down here, the tap to pay logo. Honestly, just a super clean design and one that I'm now really excited to add to my wallet. And let's see here, actually. Let's see how it compares to the Amex Centurion card. Y'all can vote below which design you like better. Yeah, okay. I probably still like the Centurion card a little bit better. It's even more sleek. It's also, honestly, actually, I don't even know if it's heavier than the Bilt Mastercard. They feel very similar, but it has some more texture to it. Let's see if I can capture that in the camera. Obviously, you have this border outlined and all that stuff, and this is not an unboxing of the Centurion card again, but it's honestly the closest comparison that I have right now in all of my credit cards. The Reserve is also out there. It's a design I really like. The Venture X and the Amex Gold card are really all my metal cards here. I guess we can get rid of that one. So this is really what's going to be making up my wallet right now. And as you can see, these are all of my favorite design cards that you can really get right now. And the Bilt Mastercard being the only no annual fee card of this bunch just goes to show how much they care about the actual product itself and making creators' lives a little bit easier. So I thank them for that, because this unboxing experience is really amazing, especially for a card that has no annual fee. The last thing I really want to note about this card here today is that I was targeted, I think really maybe everybody is targeted these days, for the 5x back on every single purchase for the first 5 days of having this card. I wasn't fully expecting that to come through, and honestly couldn't really utilize it a ton since I also needed to run so much spend through my new Chase Ink Unlimited right here. But I did put a good amount of transactions on it and was able to secure like 2,500 points or something. So there's a pseudo welcome bonus for you there, but I would just consider planning out some bigger spend on this card in the first 5 days of having it, if you're somebody that wants to maximize on that welcome bonus kind of period. Because remember, other than that, no welcome bonus on that card. So there you have it. We have all of my cards in my wallet once again, including the Bilt Mastercard now, which is great to see. And if you want to see how I was able to get approved for that card and actually put it in my wallet here today, be sure to click on this video next. If you do want to apply for it as well, I always have links down below to all of my credit cards, so it'd mean a lot to me if you use that. And if you enjoyed, please consider leaving a like and subscribing to the channel, and I'll catch you guys next time.